Hi, and welcome to this week's class of Zohar, Parshas Noach. I am your host, Rabbi David Katz. Alright, gang, we are cruising. This is class number 4. And we have done, again, remember, this is the Sulam's commentary on the Zohar. Parshas Noach. It's always listed in Mishnayot, kind of little stanzas. And we have done 1 through 9. And today we are on number 10. Let's get started. Let's get started. Remember, when we do this, certain ones kind of go together better than others. So in the first class we linked together 1 through whatever it was, 3 or 4. And class 2, class 3. Today we are doing... Wish the sound would have been turned off, that's alright. Today we are doing number 10, Yud. Alright? There we go. Again, the style, I like to look in the Aramaic because it's a little bit different than the Hebrew. And he gives his own commentary in the Hebrew, so we'll feel it out. Again, like here, for example, he starts off Tamim Haya. This is Parshas Noach, that Noah was righteous and wholesome in his generations. However you translate that in the pasuk, look it up. The Hebrew just says Tamim Haya, and the Aramaic is going to bring Tamim Haya b'doi rasav. He was pure or wholesome in his generations, and in the Hebrew he was pure. Now, again, why do I find it to be different in the Aramaic than the Hebrew? Aside from the obvious, and that is because when we do this Mishnah, we're going to see that all 3 words are imperative. Tamim, Haya, B'doi Rasav. So if we just looked at the Hebrew of Tamim Haya, then we're just kind of not on the right foot, right? We're not going to get the whole perspective right away. So I like to look back and forth. Tamim Haya, B'doi Rasav. Again, I'm kind of going to go back and forth on this one. I like the Aramaic a little better. My B'doi Rasav, says the Aramaic. What does it mean in his generation, or in his generations? Depending on how you translate. Shoyel Bekasuv, Tamim Haya B'doi Rasav. Mahu B'doi Rasav. What does it mean in his generations? Ve'oimer shehem hadoiris hayotziyim mimenu. And it says, it is said that these are the generations that come out from him. Shehu mashlimim kulam b'tzidkaso. That he is the completion of all of them with his righteousness. V'gam hu atzmo nishla mikulam. And also he himself is the completion, or is completed through all of them. I like that. That's a little chiddush I didn't see in my preparation. Hold on a second. That asks a great kasha, which we'll do when we get to the notes. What does it mean that he is completed through them? You guys hear the question. What does it mean that they are complete through his righteousness, and he is complete through all of them? Klaimer, which is to say, Shebeis mashmi yisein bekasuv tamim haya b'doi rasav. That there are 2 mashmius, like kind of like Svei Dinim almost, right? We hear 2 things when it is written, Tamim Haya B'doi Rasav, pure or wholesome in his generations. The first one is that in his Tamimius, a complete wholesomeness, all the generations that all came out from him. So Tamimuso, Ashlema, Kul, Adoiris, yeah, all the generations that come out from him are perfect. Second, Shehu Nasid Tamim, and this is why we say that he was completed. that he is made wholesome, complete, or perfect in the merit of all the generations that come from him. Perush Acher, another way of explaining this. Tamim Haya, what does it mean, Tamim? Its explanation is that he was born circumcised. Kamoshe Kasuv, as it is written, that walk before me and be perfect, that the Kavana is on his Mila, that he was born circumcised. In his generations, Shemashma, V'lo b'doiris ha'olam, hu mishum shememenu yoitzu. Again, in his generations, to mashma, and not in the regular generations, rather him, his generation, the ones that come out of him, because they came from him. That's why it's his and not just generations. Which is to say, claimer, Afal pi shekavanas akasav hu, even though that the verse is speaking about him. Shehu tamim bekol doiris ha'olam, that he is perfect in all the generations of the world. In any case, it says in his generations, since all the generations of the world are his generations, because from him they came out. And that is Parshas Noach. Where did I put, was it here? Yeah. So now we have the notes. And I have a lot, I had just kind of my mind opened up to this. So I want to really figure out how to explain this. And I have a million notes. So if I refer to my notes, I may even check them off. So I'm going to make sure I get them all. We say that in the Telzer Derech of learning Torah, there's something called Chomer and Soira, and there's also in philosophies of learning Torah Pilpul, which we mentioned in the last couple classes. Pilpul is intuitive thinking. Now, when I learn halacha, and I source halachically, we don't guess, we look up the source, and we find the copy and paste. When you go Zohar and Kabbalah, they bring you the famous ideas, like Noach and his generations, but they bring in Kabbalah, that it is inviting the meditative qualities and free thinking and pilpul and lateral thinking is to be applied to open our minds to where, let's slide over now to the Telzer way, is that they give you the chomer, they give you what is in front, the textual mass. And the tzura, another way of saying it is the mahus. What is the essence? What is the thing? What is the underlying principles that we're getting at? So when we learn Noach, we give over basically the contents of one verse. Noach was perfect, Hamim, Haya, he was, in his generations. And that's all we have to deal with. So the Zohar is asking, basically, if it was just generations, fine. They came out of him. If it was Noach who was righteous, fine. It was him, and thank God for Noach, and then we have all kinds of righteousness. But we're saying no. He was made righteous on the merit of them, and they were perfect in their generations by merit of him. It's a type of paradox, but the Zohar then preempts, because you're not going to understand, well, what came first, the chicken or the egg, even though they were both on the ark. Pun intended. It was a joke. But if we are saying that there was a catalyst that made Noach perfect, wholesome, what was that catalyst? And this is what the Sod of the Zohar is telling us. That when you meditate on these verses, and we know the character and oral Torah of Noah, then we know, again, This is called mukhrach. You have to say it. Since in the beginning of Noach we established that Noach is the attribute of Yesod, and since we learned Torah reality, Lefi Pshuto, from the text, then we don't know Noach maybe as a person. This goes back to our ongoing debate, was there a literal flood? What we know is Lefi Pshuto, there was at least a type of flood. And we said last week, do we even know what water is when the constellations stop moving and the sun is suspended and the moon is suspended? Have you ever seen a day like that? I haven't. And that thing of suspension from Noach doing Shabbos in the ark makes a worldwide flood. Now, if you have been through something like that, maybe you can tell us. I haven't, so I don't know what that means. The Torah calls it a flood, a mabul, whatever a mabul is. Do we even know what a mabul is? Have we looked in the Onkelos and in the sources what exactly is a mabul? We already know that the world stopped moving. It's not regular. But we learned these things out Lefi Pshuto, textual reality. Since Noach was Yesod, and since we have all this perspective of the righteousness, the rabbis learn Lefi Pshuto, textual reality, Noach was born circumcised. Moyel. We don't have any evidence that he was circumcised, like Abraham, who was circumcised by Shem, the son of Noach, with the help of God. So the rabbis must conclude, mukhrach, you have to conclude it logically, that the logical religion of the Torah, that Noah was born circumcised. And this merit was so fantastic that it created a merit of Noach to be Tamim, and out of that came the generations from this Tamim Tzaddik Moyel named Noach. All the generations became Noachized, if you want to make up a new word.